Hello and welcome to COTN, Christopherson on the News, where I, Matt Christopherson, discuss the most important political, economical and social stories of the past week. Today is Sunday, January 12th, 2020. Let's take a look at the headlines for the past week. Our top story tonight is a man has been accused of having sex with a minibus, a fence and a taxi in an outrageous string of events. In other news, a man is awaiting the safe return of his wife after she went to help Santa on Christmas Eve. Also, a teacher has been fined for flashing her vagina at a town hall ceremony. A landlady has been covered in shit by her tenant. And finally, 3 pigs have been caught raiding a booze aisle in a supermarket in Siberia. So let's start straight off with our headline of a man having sex with a minibus, a fence and a taxi. David Bruce of Kirkcaldy has been charged with public indecency after allegedly simulating sex with not just a taxi and a fence, but also a minibus as well. This allegedly took place on a summer's evening last year, and one onlooker said, "He dropped his trousers and they fell to his ankles. He climbed onto the bonnet and started simulating sex. His hips were moving back and forwards." Good grief. David has denied public indecency, so we'll see where this story takes us. Our second story today is the mysterious disappearance of Sandra Edwards, the wife of Dave Edwards. Sandra went missing on Christmas Eve when she told Dave she was going to help Santa. Dave, as a staunch Christian, was very pleased that Sandra was doing this and looked forward to her return. Unfortunately, Sandra hasn't been seen since, and Dave's tried calling her, but she's not picking up. The ringtone he's receiving, though, does suggest that she may still be in the UK, or has come back to the UK from Lapland. The plot thickens because Dave has actually reached out to his best friend Claude, who lives next door, for help and advice, as you would. But Claude isn't in, seemingly. He's not answering the door, his curtains are drawn, and the spare key that Dave has isn't working. So now essentially we've got 2 missing people. We've got Sandra, who allegedly went to Lapland, who hasn't returned, and best friend and neighbour Claude, who isn't picking up or responding at all to Dave's requests and reaching out. So the esteemed paper, the Sunday Sport, actually did an investigation at the local pub, the Fisherman's Arms, where Sandra used to work. And one onlooker has commented, "Well, she shagged everyone in here already, so she's probably riding sausage on the other side of town. Mine's a cider." If you hear anything of Sandra or Claude, please let us know. A drug-addicted primary school teacher has been charged for flashing her vagina at a local awards ceremony. Pam Roberts, a primary school teacher, was attending the ceremony where she was given the award Primary School Art Teacher of the Year. Unfortunately, Mrs. Roberts had been on Spice, so when she collected the award, rather than giving a speech or having a nice photograph taken, she instead lifted her skirt, pulled her knickers to the side, and showed her vagina. Allegedly, she said, "Do you like them hairy? Mine's like a burst couch." Unsurprisingly, this didn't go down very well, and Mrs. Roberts has been slapped with a £180 fine and ordered to go to drug rehab. It's alleged that she's since moved from England to Scotland. Our next story is that a lady in the United States has been arrested for throwing a bucket of shit over her landlady. The landlady, who is 65, had gone to the trailer of a Joanna Merceda to check on some broken items. Merceda, rather than giving a warm welcome, instead gave a welcome of a bucket full of shit onto her landlady. An officer on the scene described the landlady as completely covered in feces and dripping wet. Apparently, Merceda had actually meant to throw a bucket of water, but got the bucket of water confused with the bucket of feces, which she then threw onto her landlady. Merceda is now in prison. And swinily, 3 pigs go on a booze spree. 3 pigs escaped from a local farm in Siberia before heading to the supermarket booze aisle, where they knocked bottles of cognac off the shelves and then lapped it up off the floor. This has all been confirmed by CCTV. I'm happy to report that the pigs have been returned to the farm unharmed. Thank you for watching Christopherson on the News, where I report the most important news from around the world. See you next week.